All right, so we have been through a redirection example. You saw how I redirected the results of a sorting command into a file that we used later on to try the unique command. I'm going to talk about the redirection and the possibility of combining um, different commands and taking the output of a command as an input for another one more in details. By default, the output of a given command, the result of a given command is displayed in your screen, right? So when we tried the sorting command without doing any redirection, we got the sorted result and displayed in the screen. However, the fact of displaying is not does not really allow you to save the results somewhere. So, if you would like to use these results later, you won't find them anywhere. Once you exit your terminal, you won't even be able to see them. If you would like to use your results later, you can write them in a given file. You can redirect the output in a file. So instead of writing it in the screen, it's going to be saved in a file. And the syntax is very simple. You already saw an example via my terminal. So it's the command followed by options, and then of course you give it the argument that you would like to use. In general, it's a file on which you are going to do some operations, and then you use this sign, the superior sign, and then you give a file name in which you would like to write the results. So here I named them file name in as an input for the command, and file name out, which is going to be the output of your command. Of course, try as much as possible to give meaningful names to your files so that you are able to find them later on. When you do a lot of different analysis and you don't give correct file names to your files, you will be lost later on when you try to find specific information. So how does it work? If the file exists, the result is going to be redirected to. And if the file does not exist, the file is going to be automatically created, and the result is going to be written in that new file created by the command. Okay? So here I'm giving an example using the Gandhi.txt, and here it's the content of the file. And I'm giving you an example using the cat command, and we would like to extract the second and third column of the Gandhi.txt. Here is the result, and so if we don't specify anything, if we just type the command with the parameters and argument, etc., the result is going to be displayed in the screen. But if you would like the result to be written in a file, remember use the superior sign and give a name for your output file. And then if you type the output, instead of seeing the result in your screen, here you won't see any result. And if you try to display the content with cat more or less, you will see what we got previously on the screen. And we already saw an example via my terminal. We can do that again so that you remember what we did previously. So we are in session 1, and let's see what we have as files. So we have genes1 and genes2. Remember, this was a file that we created by redirecting the result. I'm going to do that operation once again so that we remember. So let's display the content of genes1. So genes1 does contain these different lines. and we sorted it previously and stored the result, but let's do that again. I'm going to move the sorted file I created previously, so it's rm sorted genes1. Let's check if it has been removed, and yes, it was removed. I just cleared my screen, so yes, the sorted file was removed, and we are going to sort it again. So looking in my history, and okay, so here is the sorting command. If I type sort genes1, the result is going to be displayed in the screen. And again, you will see that the file has been sorted, but the result is written in the screen. I do not have any file in which the result was stored. So if we would like to store the result, we can use the exact same command, but we redirect the output. So it's the exact same command that wrote this result on the screen, but we are going to use the superior sign and going to say that we would like to the output to be written in a file called sorted sorted genes1. Okay, so as you see here, we don't have any result displayed on the screen. We got the prompt again. It's inviting us to use any other command. If we check, let me clear your screen, clean my screen. Sorry, I cannot clear yours. So it's here. And if I type ls-l, you can see that I just created a file, a sorted file. So if I display the result, it's going to be the sorting that we saw previously in the screen. So it's the file genes1 sorted. Okay, and of course you can redirect the output of any command. Let's, for instance, try the unique once again, and I'm trying it on the sorted file. Remember that unique requires a sorted file, and so let's do it without redirecting the result. And you can see here that we got the duplication removed. Remember that the -c option allows you to get the number of lines of the number of duplications of each line. Let's do that. And here once again the result is displayed on the screen. If we do the same thing but with redirecting the result, I'm going to call it unique genes1, so no result is displayed on the screen. But if we do cat unique genes1, you will see that the result of the command was written in this file unique genes1. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is the possibility of combining different commands. Here you just saw that I used different commands. I used the result of a specific command as an output for the other one, like I used the result of the sorting command as an input for the unique command. But I've written the result of the sorting command into a given file and then gave that given file as an input to the other command. Something else that you can do is to combine the two different commands, or you can also combine as many commands as you would like to. So the standard output of any command will be one unique output. We cannot have different outputs of a given command. And as we saw many times, the result is printed in your screen, or it can be redirected into a file. However, this output can be given immediately as an input to another command. So instead of redirecting it to a file, we redirect the result to another command. So the result of a given command will be given as an input of another command. This is really very useful when you use several operations that are needed for a file, but we don't really need to store the intermediate results. Like for the for the sorting. Maybe we don't really need the sorted file, we just needed it for the unique. So I mean, here it's okay, it's a very small file that I was dealing with, but if you are dealing with big genomic files, sometimes keeping a lot of copy of intermediate files takes a lot of space from your disk, and it might be problematic at some point. So this is why combining different commands can be very useful without writing into an intermediate one. So to combine several commands, you can use this character that we call pipe. And the structure is the command one followed by its options, and then the argument of the command one, and then pipe, the second command followed by its options. And of course, you can redirect the whole result into a file. By the whole result, I mean the result of the command 2 that was based in the result of command 1. As you see here, I did not give any file as input for command 2 because command 2 is going to use the result of command 1 as input. Okay? And this can be done for as many commands as you need. Like you can use 3 different pipes in a command. You can use 10 different pipes. It really depends on the operation you would like to perform. So if I add another pipe here, this means that the result of the command 2 that was based on the result of command 1 is going to be given to the third command, etc., etc. So please take enough time to practice these different commands and the redirecting, and also the recombination of different commands. These are all very useful commands and operations when you deal with real data files. And we will also be using them during the next session. It's a consolidation session, but we will take the time to learn some bash scripting. That is really very useful when you run different bioinformatics tasks, combining different tools, using different files. So please take the time to practice these different commands and operations that we have been through during today's session.